Hey, champions, how are you doing? Welcome to another week. We missed you all week long. That's right. Today is Sunday, and Sunday is pregame. If you're watching live, go ahead and put where you're watching from in the chat below. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay team so that we know you're watching the replay. And if you have any questions throughout the broadcast tonight, just go ahead and put your questions in the chat and we will respond to your request. We are so excited tonight. We're talking about mindset. Mindset is a very powerful thing that we have complete control over to help guide and direct our lives. Here's something I like to think about when it comes to mindset, that our mind is like a thermostat. Put that in your notes. Write that down, that our minds operate just like a thermostat. Whatever we set it to, it seems like a conspiracy all around us doing everything possible to get to whatever we set it to. So just like a thermostat, if we set it to 70 degrees, all machines are working together to get it to 70 degrees and then set it right there. So my question to you for tonight is, where have you set your mind to? Go ahead and put that in the chat. Somebody type that in the chat for me. What have you set your mind to? And if you're looking around your life and you don't like what you've been getting, it could be you've set your mind to something. So you might need to do a reset. Somebody put hashtag reset in the chat. You might need to do a reset just so that you can go ahead and set it to that appropriate system, because you are a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermometer only lets you know what the temperature is. It lets you know what's going on. That's all it is. But you are more powerful than that. You are a thermostat. So in your notes, I want you to write that down. I am a thermostat. I have the ability to set the temperature in my life, to set my goals, to set my affirmations, to call those things that be not as though they were, and realize the manifestation in my life. So I'm telling you, I have a panel tonight that's going to share some amazing tips, tools, and techniques with you tonight, all about mindset. But first, let me give some shout outs to the people, two champions I just saw pop in the chat. Maria Turk, hola, mi amiga. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dimitra, good to see you too over there. All the champions watching live, go ahead and put in the chat where you are watching from. I hope you are excited about tonight. I'm so excited. So let me go ahead and bring my panel in. Do me a favor. Let's give a round of applause to my panel. So we got Karrington, Tim, Harry, and Mike. Let's go around the room and let them introduce themselves. Let's kick it off with Karrington.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, Chris. My name is Karrington Warfield. I am co-owner of Virtual Visions Event Services. We provide event planning virtually, and we can connect you all over the world as long as you are using the Zoom platform. So thank you.
And she is awesome. Let me tell you, she's doing big things. She's been doing interviews all last week. We're just so grateful to have her here with us every Sunday. She drops plenty of nuggets, so have plenty of paper and pens to write down the information. Next up is Mr. Tim White.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tim White. I am a independent and also own a jewelry business for natural gemstones.
Awesome. And of course, every Sunday I'm rocking them.
Thank you, sir.
Right there. Got the rocking the leather tonight, which is always amazing. Harry, the big dog.
What's up, everyone? This is Harry Jamison, Harry the big dog, and I am a live stream producer. I have 3 shows right now. One is DJ Interview, one is Ready Live Pro, and Veterans Laughs Matter, where we help veterans heal through laughter.
Awesome. And doing it big, and a great job helping veterans all over the world. Got some events coming up this year, so that's amazing. Last but definitely not least, my good friend, my good buddy, champion of champions, none other than Mr. Michael Baldwin. Let's put some respect on the champion.
Thanks for having me on, Chris. Again, my name is Michael Baldwin. I guess I would just say I'm basically a serial entrepreneur. I like to look at new business opportunities, explore things, and just learn more and more about business. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but it's okay. I learn. I don't lose, right, Tim?
There you go, baby.
Gotta go.
Angel and
Your new business partner.
I love it. I love it. Let's give a round of applause once again for all our champions. And I see inside of the chat the amazing one, Felicia Hudson. She's absolutely amazing. Somebody that you want to know, somebody that just doing amazing things. Good to see you, champion. I see you. So, team, we're talking about mindset. We're talking about mindset tonight. So I want to hear from each of you. I'm going to go around the room. I just want to hear from you as your personal definition of mindset, or how would you describe mindset? So when you hear that word mindset, what comes to mind based on your experience? So let's kick this off with Mr. Tim White.
Thank you, Chris. So really, for me, two things. It's about what you believe in, which also reflects in your attitude. So when I think mindset, that's really what I'm concentrating on, or what I'm paying attention to, is trying to get an understanding through that individual's communication and their actions. What is it that they really believe in, and what type of attitude are they displaying and conveying and projecting out into the environment? So for me, though, I would say that it's a matter of belief and attitude.
Awesome. I like that, belief and attitude. All right, Harry, let's hear. What are your thoughts when you hear that word mindset, Harry? What comes to mind for you?
What comes to mind to me is being positive in everything you do. No negativity. There is already a lot of that on this planet and everywhere you watch, whether you Facebook or the news or everything. Just stay positive and be positive.
I like that. Just staying positive, setting your mind to that positivity. I love that. And so, Karrington, when you hear mindset, what comes to mind for you? What are the thoughts that come to your mind concerning mindset?
I would say for me, mindset is a positive outlook on things, kind of the way that you perceive things, right? I think that, yeah, I would say positive mindset for sure when I think about mindset. And I guess we'll get into it a little bit deeper.
Absolutely. But I love that you said a positive outlook, right? So one of the things that we talk about this word hope, it's the ability to foresee change in the future. And if you have a mindset of hope, you have that ability to foresee change in the future. You're not going to be where you are always. So I like that you said that. All right, Mike. So when you hear the word mindset, Mike, what comes to mind when you hear mindset?
Well, great question, Chris. I think one of the first things is identity, right? My mindset is basically based on my identity, how I see myself. And the other is how I see my environment. What do I see around me? How am I looking at the things, my perception of what's going on around me and what it means? So I think mindset just ties into that for me individually as I look at myself and as I look around. Mindset is really about how you see things, yourself, and everything that's transpiring around you.
I like that because it's your whole environment, right? So one of the things I personally believe, if you want to see change, external change, you have to focus on that internal change. The changes you make internally are going to change the way you see the world. It's going to change the way you interact with the world. All of those things happen because of that outlook that you have and that environment that you set yourself up in. Hey, Taylor's in the chat. Also, the one and only Jennifer Yarbo. If you have questions, go ahead and put questions in the chat as we continue to go around. We're talking about mindset. We're talking about its influence, its power, the role that it plays in our life. So I want to hear from the team. How has your mindset developed over time to help you get to where you are? So think about that for a moment. I'm going to call on each one of you to share. How have you been working on your mindset to get where you are, especially to get away from where you were from? Because we all have a past. Things have happened in the past, and we want to get away from those things. So let's hear your story about your development process and the work that you put on your mindset. So let's go ahead and kick that off with Mike.
All right, Chris. Well, I'll be happy to share. I guess one of the biggest things for me is the way I begin to see myself or how I wanted to see myself. Wasn't necessarily where I was at the time, but the goals that I had, and saying, what can I do to help to make sure that the goals I have will be accomplished, and how do I program myself? Basically, I see myself as a computer, and I'm programming my computer with the words that I say, with the things I verbalize, what I listen to, and what I read, and what I surround myself with. So one of the things that I've done, and it started probably about 2 years ago, where I really started doing it faithfully, is every single morning I will walk around in my office space. I have scriptures all around me, and these are different scriptures that I've pulled to kind of help me to get into the mindset of where I want to be, what I want to pursue. And I'll take a walk around my room and I'll read them. I may have memorized them, but I read these scriptures every morning, and I do it consistently whenever I'm at home. And that helps to program my mindset to know that I am able to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish by maintaining the right mindset and the right connections. So that's one of the things that works for me, Chris.
I love that. And that's so powerful to have those affirmations around your room, especially like where they say where are the places that you most visit in your house? There are two places that you're going to visit in your house every day. Who know what those two places are?
Bathroom and kitchen.
The bathroom and kitchen. And Harry, we already know what you're going to say, Harry. You're going to say it's more than twice a day. We get it. We know. You're going to go to that kitchen because if there's anything, Harry loves to get his meal on. So if we put our affirmations there and also in our car. So everybody in the chat, I want you to focus on, as the champions are sharing, focus on the practical applications. Focus on the practical application, the things they're doing, because we're going to go to Karrington next. And Karrington is going to share from her journey, what has she been doing to work on her mindset to help her get from where she was to where she is. And she has an amazing story, an amazing journey. So I'm very interested to hear what kind of practical things have she done to work on her mindset. So Karrington, go ahead and share with us some of the practical things you've done to work on your mindset.
Chris, for me, one of the things I started doing probably about maybe 7 or 8 years ago was creating a vision board. That was one of the things that definitely helped me change my mindset. Also, Mike mentioned reading. I'm an avid reader. That actually helps my mindset because I'm real specific about what I read. And I would also say the Bible. Definitely reading the Bible. Those are three things, because I wasn't, Chris knows me personally. So, years ago, I really didn't have a lot of confidence, and it took me a while to get here where I am now. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm definitely a lot further along than where I was 7, 8 years ago. So those three things help me out a lot. And I do a vision board pretty much every month.
Hey, that is awesome. That is awesome. I remember Mike Murdoch talking about a vision board. He said personally that he has a dream room instead of just a vision board. He has a whole room with the pictures and the people. He says because if you see that future, you'll gravitate towards that future. He says, but if you don't have a vision board, you don't have a dream room, you don't have something that you can look forward to in the future, all you're going to do is replay your past. So if you're not looking at things you want in your future, all you're going to do is continue to repeat the past over and over and try to figure out why you are there. So one thing I want to share that Karrington talked about, Karrington and I are reading the same book right now, talking about doing the work, and it talks about keeping the promises to yourself. It talks about betrayal. And don't betray yourself. Keep your promises to yourself. Do those affirmations. Put them up on a refrigerator. Put them in the bathroom. Be an avid reader. Just like Karrington was saying, do those things. Don't betray your future goals. Don't betray yourself. Keep the promises to yourself. Get up in the morning and do the doggone thing. All right, Tim, we're going to come over to you. And so that we can find out from you, what are the practical things that you've done to get from where you are to where you are now?
Yeah. So for me, Chris, I try and keep it simple and basic, and that is to stay open to learning, right? Because what I know is that learning is a lifelong process. And so, we're receiving, it's interesting because research is saying that our brains receive 11 million bits of information per second. I mean, if you think about that's just inconceivable. 11 million bits of information per second, but the conscious mind can only process about 50 bits of that. And so we're constantly being bombarded with information, both positive and negative. And those messages can affect our mindset. And so we have to be intentional about what we want to do, what we want to learn, what we want to be, which you've heard some of the panelists talk about already, Mike and Karrington. And I'm sure Harry will come in that same perspective. And so because we're receiving both negative and positive information, if we're not intentional about what we want to be and goal setting and what we want to do in life, then it's real easy to be influenced either way. And so I'm always open to learning. And it's in all sorts of ways, whether it's reading something, whether it's meeting new people and understanding their background, but just keeping myself in a position to constantly learn and receive new information. So that's really what I do to develop the kind of mindset that I want.
Man, that you said a mouthful there, brother. I mean, that was some great nuggets right there. Especially talk about open to learning. I remember a quote that says, "Your mind works like a works best like a parachute, right? When it's open." So, and that's having that open mind to learning, right? And three things that I learned in life: never stop yearning, earning, and learning. Somebody put that in the chat for me. Never stop learning, earning, and yearning. Right. And that's going to help you really go far in life. And I liked also what you were talking about, influence. If you're not intentional, you're going to be influenced. Right. And Definitely. You're going to be influenced not just by the positive, but also by the negative. Right. And you're going to have to do extra work or like extra credit if you fall into there. So, Harry, what I want to do is hear from you as well. I want to hear about what has worked for you concerning your mindset to get from where you are. I mean, from where you were to where you are now.
Well, being that I don't know how to read, I started eliminating words. These words here, I took out of my vocabulary. I do not try anything, and there's nothing I cannot do. To me, the way I learned, the try is a failure word, and can't means you don't want to or you don't know how. So which one it is? So when I eliminated those words out of my vocabulary, things started to happen positively. And it's because I'm not going to try and meet you somewhere. I am going to meet you somewhere. Mm-hmm. Those are the, other affirmations that I am. And there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing I can't do. It even feels funny saying those words out loud because this started about 15 years ago where I eliminated, we've had all of us has had many conversations and not once do I use those words.
Man, that's powerful, brother. I like that. I like that. You set that up perfectly because I was like, oh my God, I don't know where's Harry gonna go with this one here, but that was perfect. There was a quote I heard when it comes to try that I think it was the Marines that said when it try is for second place, right? That's second place when you try. Try is to fail. Try is to fail. That you just gotta make a decision to do and eliminate some words out of your vocabulary. I know in the trainings that I conduct, and as a matter of fact, I had a class last week, and in that training, I create a whiteboard in Zoom, and we write down as many doubt-filled words as possible to eradicate them from our vocabulary. And we make a rule in our environment that we cannot use these words. Those doubt-filled words will drag you down. Those doubt-filled words will rob you. Go ahead, Harry.
Yeah, and there's no state of trying. You're either gonna do it or you're not. That it's as simple as that. There's no trying is in the middle or anything. You're either gonna do it or not. So that's why these words are eliminated from my vocabulary.
I think it was Yoda that said there is no try. There's only do. There is no try. There is only do. So all those fans of Yoda.
Voice because we gonna be here for about an hour, and I didn't want to parch myself.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, I hear you. You don't want to try to do that. I got you. Hey, champions, anybody want to chime in on something you heard from one of the other champions? Come on, chime in.
Yeah, I was Harry's comment reminded me of this gentleman I saw being interviewed many years ago. I can't even remember his name, but I believe he was a musician. And the gentleman interviewing him asked him if he could play the piano. And he said, "I'm not sure." And the guy was like, "What do you mean you're not sure?" And he said, "I've never sat down to do it." So, I mean, his mindset was very much what Harry is saying around the word can't. His point to the interviewer was, I'm not going to say I can't play the piano because I never sat down to play the piano. And so in his mind, he never ruled out the possibility or the fact that he could play the piano because it was his mindset that was in that positive lane that would not allow him to rule out being able to play the pianos. And I thought of that story when Harry was making the comment about try and can't. And that was a great illustration of Harry's point.
I like that. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's good.
Somebody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I wanted to speak up about Karrington. Karrington, when you talk about the visualization, I think that is so powerful. One of the things that, I try and do. Sorry, Harry. One of the things that I do is
it takes time to get rid of it.
My goal is to visualize the things that I want to accomplish for the day, to visualize the relationships and the way that I want these relationships that are critical to me to go. And also when I step into a training session or a business meeting, is to visualize prior to what I want to accomplish and how I see things is going. And I think that really helps us because now we put ourselves in the mindset and we're actually working through solutions all along the way. And I found that to be very powerful and very helpful. So thank you for sharing the visualizations, the vision board, and the fact that you do it every month. I think that's also something that's very powerful that I need to add to my practical experience as well.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's awesome. Maybe we get Karrington to do a class for us on vision board creation. That sounds like a winning thing. Just have a Sunday dedicated for Karrington. Who in the chat agrees? Let me get a number one in the chat. If you agree to sit in a class with Karrington and learn how to put together a vision board to increase your success, go ahead and put a number one in the chat. On my panel, let's get a thumbs up. Let's get a thumbs up for all the panel members. Yep, everybody agrees, Karrington. We want to hear from you so that we can get our vision board on, so that we can change our mindset.
Done deal.
I love it. I love it. So I want you to think about this, and whoever wants to chime in can chime in on it. What are the dangers of having a negative mindset or a defeated mindset? So if you're going through life and you're saying like, I try and I can, or you're saying doubt-filled words, or you're taking doubt-filled actions, or you just have this defeated mindset, what are the dangers of having a defeated mindset? Who would like to join in?
Let me say something on that. When you wake up, as Karrington stated some weeks back, you're at your best. Now, take that and watch the news, the negative news. Somebody got killed. This happened, a burning something, all the bad things you hear. By the time you get up, that's the first thing you listen to. How do you think your day is going to be after that?
Defeated.
Defeated.
Right.
Gone. It's going to be gone. That's all you're going to have in your head. This world is sad. People are crazy. All of that. I don't watch the news, and I mentioned that for a reason. I don't watch the news. If it's something important enough, somebody will tell you.
That's facts. That's 100% facts right there. Somebody will let you know.
Somebody will let you know.
Who else was it?
Chris,
yes.
And you all may remember Norman Vincent Peale's book, The Power of Positive Thinking. Mm-hmm. And in that book, he talks about this question, right? And he says, when you wake up in the morning, there's a Mr. Positive and a Mr. Negative on each shoulder, right? And he said, whichever way you're thinking that's which one gets up and goes to work for your day. So if you come out gate thinking negatively, then your results, your activity is going to be negative. And so it's really a mindset in that regard. And so, yeah, it's all about the mindset in terms of what could wind up happening. So if you're thinking negative, because there will be negative things that will happen during the course of the day. There are things we can't control, right? Someone may be having a bad day, and it may, it may show up in your presence. And so it becomes a decision as to how do you want to process that? Do you want to go negative with it, or do you want to look at it in a positive light? So really, the danger of it is how it can wind up affecting your day and creating consequences for you that may not be in your best interest.
I like that. I remember growing up and I had like a positive friend and negative friend, or not necessarily a negative friend, a real street friend. How many people by show of hands have like that street friend? I mean, that friend that always gets you. Nobody on this panel has a street friend that you get in trouble with. The lies, ladies and gentlemen of the chat. I have these people up here. No. I have these people on my panel that don't have that friend that always talks the club, always talk about drinking, smoking, going out, doing all that stuff. And then we have that good friend, right? Demetria, thank you. Your sister. Only me and you. These people up here didn't live that life, right? So it's like you have a Tim and you have a Harry, right? I ain't gonna say which one is which. But the influences from them, right? And we have those people in our lives. Man, I can't take this panel on this Sunday. It's Sunday, and they refuse to say they didn't have friends like that. They left me out there alone.
Put my hand up. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do.
All right. So, Karrington, share with us a little, Karrington. What are the impacts of somebody having a negative mind, a defeated mindset, that really not moving forward? They kind of stuck right there in that position. What are your thoughts around that?
You know what? To be honest, Chris, I can speak from experience because I was at that point in my life being defeated and not being able to, just being defeated and kind of feeling stuck. And I think it all came down to me just not being confident, not having confidence. I saw things that I wanted, but I always felt like I would take, 2 or 3 steps ahead and then I'd take 10 steps back. And so it was like I always felt like I could never get ahead. But it wasn't until my friend actually introduced the vision board to me was when I feel like that's when things started to change and the trajectory of my life started to change, because I started writing those things down. I started seeing those things, and literally things just started to happen, slowly, but things really did start to happen. So I can attest to, I was one that had a defeated mindset at one point in my life.
So what was it about the vision board that drew you out? So what do you think? How did the vision board work for you? What was it about it that did it for you?
Being able to see those things every day, right? And so what I would do was I had one in my bedroom. I had one at work that I looked at every day. And then I even had it as a screensaver, at work. And so seeing those things all the time, for me, it was the repetition, seeing that all the time, like the pictures, the images. Sometimes I would have scriptures, sometimes I would have quotes or, whatever the case may be. But those things, just seeing them all the time. And then what really helped me was when I started seeing things come into fruition. So I was like, okay, this really works. So when I started seeing things work, and then I, do another one next month, and then those things, and not to say everything happened, when I wanted it to, but eventually those things have happened.
I like that. I think there's something addictive about results, right? When we start getting those positive results or rewards from our hard work, our labor, our sacrifices, something about that keeps us going. I think it releases dopamine, and we just continue to go and go and go when we start seeing the fruit of our labor. So I love that you said that. Mike, I saw you over there jotting some things down. What you got for us, brother?
Yeah, I was thinking about, as you were talking about the defeated mindset, well, the best thing to help with the defeated mindset is a victory, right? And so what are the small victories that I can get today, right? And we can choose small victories, whether that victory is I'm going to get up and do 20 push-ups today, and I stick to it every day, and now I have a victory. Whether it's I'm going to read a chapter in this book today, small things that we can do that give us victories, right? Because we all want to be victorious. We're born to be victorious. And I think the challenge comes in is when we start missing that, we feel defeated, and then we start medicating with other things, whether that's watching too much TV, whether that's eating too much, whether that's smoking, whether that's drinking, whether it's sex, whether it's other vices that we have, because we're attempting to medicate and take our minds off of the fact that we're not seeing the victory that we really are built and designed to achieve. And I think that's a big thing when you think about how do I get out of my defeated mindset? Get a victory. Keep finding ways to be victorious as I go throughout my day, and that can change the mindset. Similar to what you said, when you see success, as Karrington says, things started to happen, started getting more and more motivated and more confident. She was seeing victories. The more victories you see, the less you believe anything about being defeated.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Celebrate small wins.
Hey, what was that quote? What was that quote again about victory and wins? What was that quote? I couldn't. I grabbed my pen and dropped the pen, and I couldn't write it down.
Oh no, Chris.
Watch the recording.
Oh my man, that was so good. If anybody in the chat remembers what he says, that when because you were talking about the best way to overcome a defeated mindset is get those victories, get those wins, get a victory. You know, that's a shirtable. We need a shirt that says "Get a victory," right? So when things are going wrong, like the name of my book, when things go wrong, don't go with them. Get a victory. Get a victory. Change the course, or like the word for 2021 is pivot, right? Pivot and get a victory. Find the small wins. You know, there was a friend of mine that was in the military that he goes around teaching about make your bed in the morning. And he says, make your bed because that's your first win. Make your bed in the morning because that's your first accomplished goal. That's a victory. So go ahead and, especially when you have consistency, those victories begin to add up. Those victories begin to add up. So I love that. Harry, Tim, one of you were about to chime in on something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, more on the vision board that Karrington has been talking about. Brian Tracy, he talked about you become what you think about most of the time. So although I don't do a vision board, I think positive and the outcome is my ultimate outcome all the time. So that's my 2 cents. And I appreciate that, Mike, about you talking about food like that. So that's a big part of my life, food.
I'm a big time foodie, Harry. So, I realized that working from home and loving food, then I got to get the victory and get to the gym at least 3 times.
Hey, if you love food, go get a victory. Go walk go do some steps. That's the victory.
Away from the plate.
You go get some. Tim, did you want to add in on anything?
No, I was just going to compliment what Mike was saying about getting those victories because they become habit forming, especially as he says, if you're going to look at trying to get those small wins, right? They become habit forming and they create that kind of a mindset of a winner, right? Because now you're accustomed to winning and then you just continue to move in that direction. And now your perception is, I can win. And I'm going to go from this level to this level. I'm going to go from this goal to this goal. And you look around and you are the champion.
Hey, let's put some respect. Let's put some respect on these golden nuggets happening out here in these internet streets. Let's give another cruise bomb. This panel is fire. This panel is fire. You watching this? Go ahead and put the panel is fire in the chat. They are doing amazing. I'm loving all these. I can't wait to go back and listen to all these nuggets. All right, hold on 1 second, because we need to, Harry, we got to get some shirts made. The shirts need to say, as Karrington says. Every week, everybody is as Karrington says. We need to get some shirts that say, as Karrington says. Just putting that out there. We're going to go rock them. We're going to rock them. Go ahead, Champion Harry. It's on you, bro.
Oh, one of the small victories, just it may be a tip for you guys. Everybody has a to-do list. And most people put like 45 things on there. What I do is I put 2 or 3 things. and get those done. That is my victory for the day. Everything else is said and done. So yeah, that definitely works. The small victories. And then I keep myself improved.
That is so huge to have those small victories. Yep. Go ahead. Somebody that was you, Mike?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay. So I remember the story of Mary Kay, the Mary Kay Cosmetics. Before she died, she talks about in her book that there's only 6 things she did every day. She made a list and she only focused on 6 things every day. And she grew her business to over $6 billion before she passed away. Over $6 billion. And she only focused on 6 things every day she would focus on. And that's it. And the rest of it was focused on quality of life. So it's amazing, Harry. I love that you share that about the to-do list and focus on what you can focus on and just continue to move forward from there. I absolutely love that. So I want to hear from you guys. What tips do you, what could you think of for the different ways that we could feed and fuel our minds? Think about that. What are the different things that we could do on a practical basis outside of something that you already shared on what could we do to feed and fuel our minds? So who would like to dive in first?
So one of the things I would suggest is just developing a routine, right? Just as similar to what you were saying about the gentleman who said, make your bed, let that be your first win of the day, make your bed, right? If we get into the habit of creating routines, right, it becomes second nature to us. And there's a great book that I've read that I would recommend to the audience, and that is The Power of Habit by Paul. I'll think of his name before we finish, but the book title is The Power of Habit. And that's the premise of the book, right? And so when we create winning habits, we create a winning mindset. And so just pick those things that we want to make a routine in our life in terms of what we're going to do, whether it's creating a vision board, whether it's making the bed when I wake up every morning, whatever it is, right? The small things that we've talked about, but just create a routine that will turn into a habit for you, and you'll have the right kind of mindset to accomplish the things that you're after.
I love that, man. That is absolutely powerful. Let's put some respect on that. Creating those habits are important. And I know it's been around the motivational industry circles talking about it only takes 21 days to create a habit. Well, that's not 100% true. For you, it might take 30. For some of us, it might take 60 days. Don't give up and cave in and quit because you've been trying something for 21 days and you still, like, you got a health goal. You still eating pecan ice cream after day 25. You still eating hamburgers and fried chicken and pork chops and ribs. Hey, don't beat yourself up. It may take you longer. So that may work for some, but if it don't work for you, you keep going, right? Whatever you do, you keep going and just always think about it. You got to buy this t-shirt. As Karrington says, get a vision board and you stick to it and the change will come. When will the change happen? When it happens. Write that down in your notes. Chris, when will the change happen? When it happens. What if it takes 20 days? Well, good. What if it takes 30 days? Good. What if it took 5 years? Doesn't matter. Just keep going until you get the results that you want. It may take you a week. Some people, just like that. We don't know, but just keep going. I think, Harry, you wanted to jump in on that, some other things that we can do. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that it took me on and off about 2 months to get rid of these words because they're so deep embedded in our vocabulary. So it took about that long. But some of the things that I do, I look for inspiration. I actually seek out and I look at videos. One of the videos I look at, and I know I told you about it, is Facing the Giants. That video, the death crawl scene, that whole 5 or 6 minutes, and the thing is, don't quit till you got nothing left. If you haven't seen it, go find it. The death crawl scene from Facing the Giants.
Go ahead and share it. Go ahead and share the story.
Well, the story is it's a football team. The coach went religious, and he wanted everybody on board. So he asked one of the members, how do you feel about this team that they were going to play? And he's like, I'd feel good if we could win. So the coach brought him up. I'm giving you the short version. The coach brought him up and had him do the death crawl with somebody on his back. And he wanted to see if he can go to the 20 or the 50. And the coach blindfolded him. He said, no matter what or where you get to, I don't want you to stop prematurely before your time. So long story short, he ended up in the end zone. The coach took the mask off, but just making him go and keep going and keep going. Don't quit till you got nothing left. Don't quit till you got nothing left. Negotiate with your body and find the strength. He was just, going ballistic on this dude, and the dude had it in him. And you don't know what you have in you until you get in those positions. One of the other things I do is, y'all, all of you have talked to me already. I'm always smiling and I'm always joking, thinking happy thoughts. And you know where I got that from? Peter Pan. Peter Pan couldn't fly because he needed the happy thoughts. And I just say mentally to myself, think happy thoughts, Peter. Think happy thoughts. And then I tell people that. And it usually puts a smile on their face, like it's doing with all right now. Just have a happy thought. And then that gets contagious, and you have another one after that, and another one after that, and then throw in a negative. But you done had so many happy thoughts that negative, it kind of falls to the wayside unless it's something really big. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. That's more like a nickel, but.
Think happy thoughts, Peter. Think happy thoughts.
Think happy thoughts, Peter. Did it not put a smile on all of your faces?
It did. It did.
And I'm sure in the chat, thank you, Felicia, for that. Courtney is there, Maria's there. I'm sure one of them smirked.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure it produced those results. Who else would like to share some things that some other things that we could do for our mindset to help maintain and sustain a great mindset?
I want to piggyback off what Tim was saying about routines, right? Because when you have that intentional routine and you kind of plan out the things that you want to do, right? The more we walk down any path, the easier it is to get there, right? All the bushes and everything, you basically create a path, and it's so much easier to get to your destination because you're used to walking on that path. And it's the same thing mentally. They talk about these neural pathways that we create. When we tell ourselves the same thing over and over, or we guide ourselves to a certain route, mentally we create a pathway just like we would a physical pathway. And so the things that we say to ourselves, as we talked about, from affirmations, but really just to piggyback on what Tim said, setting up a routine. And as a part of that routine, think about all the things that you want to go into your day, into that time frame that are going to help you to achieve that goal that you have, right? And setting up a routine that you can do, that you can do, right? So it's not too hard, right, Harry? Just 3 things on the list. Make it something simple that you can do, but it's meaningful and it's positive, and you execute on that. And I think it just helps you to continue to see success and overcome that mindset.
Roger that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, we got to put some respect on that. Let's clap that up, team. Everybody clap, put some respect on that. I love the way the panel is just tying together the other thoughts, and it's really something beautiful that's happening because it's coming together as a clear picture of things that we can do to really have this strong mindset. Karrington, would you like to jump in and share anything else, other things that you've tried, read about, think about that people could benefit from to maintain a positive, healthy mindset?
Sure. Honestly, Chris, and I don't think I'm crazy, but I literally talk to myself all day. One of the things I do in the morning, first thing is I pray, and then I literally talk to myself and tell myself like I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm kind. I literally talk to.
Yeah, that's definite.
I do that,
and goes back to what I said about Brian Tracy. You become what you think about most of the time, and you actually say it out loud.
And then what I also do is I see myself doing what I want out of life, right? If it's something I want, if I want a huge house, if I want $1 million home, if I want to make $1 million, I see myself in that situation. And so I think that helps for me. I don't know about anyone else, but that's what I do every day, is see myself where I want to be and what I want to be doing.
Hey, that is awesome, Karrington. That is awesome. Sometimes it's the best conversation you're gonna have all day. That conversation you have with yourself, that self-talk is absolutely powerful, right? Because it's just like when you read affirmations, it's always good to read them out loud or say them out loud, because hearing it in your own voice is powerful. It's one thing for somebody to tell you how great you are, how smart you are, how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are. But it's another thing when it's said in your own voice. And like Mike was just talking about, those neural pathways. When you hear it in your own voice, it's like your mind is creating super highways to be able to recall that information when the tough times come. When you get confronted with hard, challenging times, you hear your own voice saying, girl, get up and go. Boy, get up. You got this. You can do this. You're a winner. You're a champion. So those things come to mind. So that was awesome. I love it. I'm so glad that came out in this session, to talk to yourself. Harry, what were you going to share?
No, I don't talk to myself.
You should. You should. Right now is a good moment. Right. Hey, right. Right now would be
it is like the both of you guys are saying, when you say what you need to hear out loud, it just it's more effective than just saying it in your mind. So definitely I am with that. And I do it. I listen to my motivational CDs and MP3s in the car, and they say this out loud, and I say it out loud. I'm the only one in the car. So, you just do that, and it just means so much more when you hear it. So thank you for that, Karrington.
Yeah, that
and you too, Chris.
Hey, hey, all respect go to Karrington on this. Hey, here's something Maria said in the chat. She said, if you can't believe your own affirmations, who can convince you? Oh my God. Hey, hold up. Let me drop a cruise bomb on that. Maria doing it from long distance. She's doing it from the chat. If you can't believe your own affirmations, who's gonna convince you? Who would like to somebody chime in? Somebody put some respect on that. Come on.
You know what's funny there are times when you have to say it even when you don't believe it, right? Because, that's the faith part. It's not there right now. I don't see myself, right? So you can say, well, how in the world am I going to be debt free? How am I going to do this? But you can keep saying to yourself, I'm going to be debt free. And my wife is into this planning thing, right? She started following these planners. And, over the holidays, I picked her up a new planner and a sticker that said she planned the life that she loved, right? And I think as we talk about, if you can't believe it yourself, what happens? Well, as you start planning and putting the details around whatever it is you want to accomplish, and you're saying it to yourself, you're giving yourself those affirmations, you're making progress because you have a plan, you're sticking to your plan, you're following through on that. Now it becomes easier to believe it because you're seeing it. Again, those small victories, right? So I think sometimes you have to start saying it to yourself when you don't believe it, and eventually you will believe it. You will convince yourself, and you'll convince the other people too.
Man, let me put some respect on that too. We got another one in the chat. We got The Amazing Taylor and her podcast. Tremendous podcaster. Taylor says, that's right. Don't wait for wealth to feel abundant. Don't wait for the wealth to feel abundant. Feel abundant now, and that will attract the wealth to you. Carrington, go ahead and chime in on that right there. You can't, don't wait for it.
Right. Just kind of picking back off of what I said. I'm not where I want to be, right? But I see myself where I want to be. And so, like Mike said, even if I don't believe it now, right, I'm telling myself this. So I'm going to eventually start to believe everything that I'm telling myself. And I will see it.
Facts. And I love what you said at the end, and I will see it, right? It's not I might. It's not if it shoulda, woulda, coulda. No, I'm going to see this. I am going to see it. And the more you say it, you convince yourself. I think Jada Pickett said confidence comes from doing. So the more you do anything, your confidence will build and confidence will develop. And all you're doing is keep saying it, and increasing your confidence. I love that. All right, team, as we begin to close out this session, man, this was a session. I take my hat off to you if I had a hat, but I could go ahead and clap it up. Man, when I say I love this panel tonight, y'all dropped it. Y'all did your thing tonight. I'm going to replay this. I'm going to chop up this entire video, put it all over Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Oh, I'm going to spend my time chopping this up and putting it everywhere because y'all did the doggone thing. So what I want to do is give each of you 1 to 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes. And what I want you to do is to give your strongest talk to the team that's watching this right now. Remember, Sunday is pregame, so we're in the locker room. I want you to give a 1 to 2 minute quick talk to everybody, right? Just give your best talk. You could take 30 seconds if you want, so you don't have to take the whole time, but you got about 2 minutes. So I just want you to share a quick talk with them, something that they can hold on to. They could watch this video again just for your one little part that they may resonate with, to go ahead and continue going on through the week, to have a successful week. So I'm gonna call on you, and so let's do it in this order. Let's go to Tim, we'll do Harry, we'll do Karrington, and then we'll bring it home with Mike. So just give a quick talk, pep talk, encouragement talk. It's pregame. First quarter starts tomorrow. Go ahead and give your pregame talk to the team. So we'll kick it off. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Tim White, the coach's coach. Let's give it up for Tim White, y'all.
Thank you, Chris. So what I would encourage the listeners to do, and for all of us really to do, if you recall, when Chris started us off and asked us, how would we define mindset? And I used the word belief, and I heard Mike just use that word in his last comment that he made, because if you can believe that you can do whatever that thing is, that's your starting point. And so I would encourage you to have the faith and believe that you can achieve whatever it is in life you want to achieve, right? And begin to work towards that particular thing. Start with that faith that you can do it, because that's going to give you that winning mindset that will then translate into those victories that we've been talking about today. You'll look around and notice that you've accomplished one thing after another that you have set your mind to. And it all starts with you having the faith, the belief that you can do it. You have everything you need to do it. So it starts with that right mindset of knowing and believing that you can accomplish it. And the other thing real quickly is, when I talked about the book, The Power of Habit, the author's name is Charles Duhigg. That's Duhigg, right? Thanks, Chris.
Man, that is fantastic. Let's give a round of applause to Coach Tim White. I love it. Now we're going to move over to Coach Harry, the big dog, who's going to share his locker room speech. He's dropped some really great nuggets tonight, so I'm really looking forward to this from Coach Harry. So let's give a round of applause to Coach Harry as he comes, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Chris, for putting me on the spot like that. I do. I'd say two things. Chris talked about your negative people, but what I want you to do is hang around your positive people, your positive friends, your positive co-workers, find some positive mentors. You never know what somebody else's positive, different point of view will do for you. You've heard all the negative stuff, and you may have fell into that and believe all of that, but somebody else's positive point of view, you never know what that can do to you. And the other thing I would tell you is to smile, and smile all the time. It tells people it's okay to approach me. That's my spiel.
Let's give it up for Coach Harry. Harry, you make people want to just give you a hug.
I always do. I hug myself sometimes.
Hey, just like a Care Bear. I love that thing right there, boy. That boy dropping some wisdom up in this piece today. All right, so we're going to continue moving forward. We're going to bring it up to one and only Karrington. I'm telling you, Harry, we're going to have to get those shirts. What Karrington said, because she be dropping them jewels up in this piece. All right, Coach Karrington, let's go ahead and give your locker room conversation, your locker room talk for people for their pregame talk to have a great week.
All right, guys. What I like to say is to encourage yourself, because sometimes people just won't encourage you. And it's usually those that are closest to you or people that you think that are your, well, I won't say that you think that are your friends. Sometimes they are your friends or your family members. So sometimes you just have to learn how to encourage yourself. Okay. Number 2 is change your outlook to positive, right? Things may not always be positive around you or in your environment, but you don't have to fall into that defeated mindset. And number 3 is I would say maybe start looking into learning how to do a vision board. There's tons of information online for something like that. And I just want to say that failure is not an option. So if you change your mindset and you start thinking a little bit more, I won't say a little bit more positive about yourself and about what you want out of life, you'll actually be able to obtain that. So thank you. Wow,
she dropping them jewels again. Let's give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it up in here. Oh, she talking about go look on the internet, go look on YouTube. We looking for you. We gonna be looking at your class that you gonna do. We gonna hold you to that class. We gonna do it right here. Give you the whole Sunday. You can walk us through, have a vision board party. Hey, vision board and a sip, like sipping vision party with Karrington. I'm telling y'all, it's coming. We're going to do something because whatever she did worked. So I want to hear from somebody that it worked from. So, all right, without further ado, let's hear from our champion, Michael Baldwin, with his locker room talk for you to go out and have a great week this week.
What I would say to you is find a way to get a victory. Put together your plan. As Tim talked about, develop a routine. Just take a few minutes to just think about, okay, what are the things that I want to do today that are important towards my future of who I see myself becoming, the things that I want to become. Plan it out. Get victories along the way by accomplishing those things. And that helps to change our mindset so that we feel more victorious, that we are actually victors. In fact, as Chris said, the more things that we do well, the more we want to do those things well, the more things we want to accomplish. And the last thing that I would say is, when I first started my business, my consulting company, the name of the company is MLB Solutions, Making Life Better. And my tagline is making life better for others makes life better for you. And if we would step outside of ourselves and start looking at ways to help other people to reach their goals, to be more successful, to become more confident, then naturally what that does is the way reaping and sowing works is it will definitely be something that you reap, and your life will be that much better as a result of the things that we're willing to invest and the energy we're willing to put into others. So add that to your routine too. How can I help someone else be great? That's it for me, Chris.
Hey, I love it. Let's clap it up for that champion coach right there. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you could just simply replay, come to the end of the video and just watch those talks and go out there and have a great week. I would highly recommend play those talks every morning, every evening before you go to bed. Let that be the thing that resonates with you. Real quick, let's go around the room, provide your contact information, and then we're going to end the broadcast for the night after that. Let's kick it off. Let's go in reverse order this time. Let's go Mike, Karrington, Harry, then Tim. Let's go ahead and give your contact information. How could people get in contact with you?
MLB Solutions at mac.com or at Michael Baldwin Live on Instagram.
Awesome. Next.
I can be reached at Virtual Vision on Facebook, Virtual Visions Event Services. You can DM me there on Instagram. It's VRTLVSNS on Instagram. And our business email is theteam@vves.org.
Awesome. Harry.
The best way to reach me is my digital business card, Harry Jamison. That's JAMISON.info, and you'll be able to get me. And remember, start your day off good and smile, just like Carrington's picture in the back that says "laugh often."
Hey, all up in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Seeing things on the wall. Hey, so real quick, Harry, what if people search for, what is it, the coolest guy in VA?
The coolest guy in Virginia.
If you search, everybody do a Google search for the coolest guy in Virginia, and Harry will be number one. He ranks number one for that.
Number one, unless somebody else did it, but
yeah.
Wow, the coolest guy in Virginia.
That is amazing. That guy's a marketing genius. I mean, he does so many things behind the scenes, man. Super brilliant. I love working with Harry. That's my partner right there, as we do a lot of production stuff, live producing. Amazing individual, amazing guy. All right, last but not least, Mr. Tim White.
All right. Yes, sir. You can find me on LinkedIn. My email address is tWhite@hr-upshot. That's UPSHOT.com. And you can also find me on Instagram at Beads by Tim. That's it.
I love it. One more time. Let's give a round of applause for our panel team. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much, panel. Stay right where you are, panel. Stay right where you are. One more time, clapping it up for the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this evening. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you have a book filled with notes and action steps. Like Harry said, 3 things. Go ahead and decide on those 3 things that you're going to do and take action on. So many nuggets, so many tips, tools, and techniques. If you could clap it up in the chat for this amazing team, that would be absolutely wonderful. We look forward to being back here for Sunday is pregame next Sunday with the amazing panel and sharing some tips, tools, and techniques to help you have a successful and great week. So without further ado, go ahead and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I pray that you got some good things out of this that can help move your life forward. This has been Chris Gloss. Continue to have a blessed, prosperous, and productive evening, and get out of your comfort zone. See you next week. We look forward to